Ready? 3, 2, 1, action.
Making sense.
Okay, so recently there has been this tweet going viral because the headline that stated giving sanitary pads help women prevent frequent pregnancy.
What? Oh, okay. I actually saw this topic trending on Twitter, but I didn't know it started off with something like this.
Yeah, I mean, the headline is very misleading in a way because not many people are educated on this matter, but it is an ongoing issue, Denise.
Yeah, I remember watching a documentary about this thing where women in underprivileged areas, especially India, they would rather bear a child for 9 months rather than having period.
It's really sad to think that some people have no option but to get pregnant because they can't afford sanitary pads. So that's why this week, let's bring up this issue and let's talk about period poverty.
That's right. And if you don't know what period poverty means, it's actually defined as inadequate access to menstrual hygiene tools and education, including but not limited to sanitary products, washing facilities, and waste management.
Yes, and with that, this week we have very special guests to talk regarding this matter. First up, we have Sarah with us today. So a little bit about Sarah. She is a TEDx speaker who has also published a few books and recently was featured in Today I Learned by Libres Malaysia. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thank you for that really lovely introduction, Aisha. That was too nice in a way. But I am 20 years old. I am in my second year political science, majoring in public administration and international relations. Sounds really boring, but to be honest, I'm just there for the gender studies. We haven't gotten there. I will get there soon. And I think I'll be teaching the class, especially if we get a male lecturer for it,
Yeah.
And, wait. Yeah, I'm so excited for our discussion today.
Yes, thank you so much. It's big brains coming here. And next, we have Azaj Maima from Taylor's Diadem.
Thank you, Denise. Hi, everyone. My name is Aza. I'm design director for Diadem and also a first-year Bachelor of Social Science student. I'm also a major in international relations, Sarah. Super excited to be here to share my bit on period poverty today. Thanks for having me.
I'm moving to Taylor's tomorrow.
Yes.
Come here.
I'll wait for you by the lake. Okay, so I'm very, very excited because this is it's an all-girls episode. Match our theme actually for this month, which is women and wealth. So as I was saying, as not only girls, but as decent human beings, I think it's very important that we highlight and discuss about menstruation. So period is not a luxury. Now let's talk about this. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so the whole idea of period is not a luxury. I think it's hard for people to digest that simple concept and narrative. I mean, it's just 4 words, but people still think it's a privilege to have a period, or it's your responsibility and you deserve to be burdened by it, as though they're punishing us for being a woman. As if it's not enough that every month our uterus punishes us for being pregnant. And then they have to add in the patriarchy and misogyny some more. Calm down. Because the thing about period and menstruation, it's health, it's biology, it's knowledge, it's the human body. The idea of sex education is not very popular in Malaysia, but elsewhere, you will learn more about the male body than you do about the female body. And it all starts there, it cycles around the idea that women are lesser beings, and having your period or being able to menstruate, those things are weaknesses that you have to be responsible for, rather than something that is a basic human right, which actually is, So all the problems that surrounds this idea that women are lesser due to our biology is just so sad, given that this is the biology that allowed us to create 7 billion human beings in the world.
Oh my God. Put it in that context, guys.
Yeah, it can be a luxury since everything is so expensive. You have, it can be a luxury, but it's not supposed to be. It sucks that we have to pay the price of being a woman on top of paying the price of being a human. So yeah.
pads are so expensive, and like an average pack of like 16 sanitary pads is about 10 ringgit, and like 16 tampons is like 25 ringgit. So is this like what the pink tax means? Like it's like so expensive. Like,
Yeah,
is it something like
absolutely.
that?
Have you went to like Watson's and compared the price of a male shaver and
Yeah.
a female shaver?
Oh my god.
Pink
Yeah,
tax.
just because it's pink, you know? Yeah.
100% with you guys on this. It's indeed unfair for women and girls to have to pay extra amount of money to access basic necessities such as menstrual products. And for Malaysia, I think we've taken a step forward beginning 2018 when the government decided to exempt menstrual products from the tax charges, the SST, to counter the now eliminated GST. So that's I guess if we can put it in one way, the pink tax is partially eliminated, but not fully yet, because there are other products, products that are still, that women still have to pay a much higher price than men products that are used by men.
That's true.
So on the topic of period poverty, as mentioned, like you guys said, there was a tableau on Twitter regarding this very topic. This happened right after the budget 2022 tabling in the parliament, as the current government has agreed to provide free personal hygiene kits on a monthly basis to underprivileged families, B40 families, in order to tackle period poverty. That is, all that's been talked about right now. And reports saying that over 130,000 people, teenage girls, will be able to benefit from this. And of course, a lot of us in Malaysia are in support, are on board with this initiative, but there unfortunately are also many others who are clearly unfamiliar with the evidence and the rampantness of period poverty, that they fail to see the relevance of this issue and how detrimental it is to many girls and women out there. It's actually very worrying. Like you guys said just now, a lot of girls had to skip school because they couldn't afford to buy sanitary products. They also couldn't, they also had to undergo all these social stigmas. Women resorted to pregnancy just so they can avoid getting their periods. And again, this can also be associated with a major economic disparity. So as you can see, this initiative right here couldn't come soon enough, so we can further prevent period poverty from widening. And I would argue that it is relevant on so many levels. I cannot imagine others who think otherwise.
Yeah, I totally agree with every single thing that you said. Plus, like how Malaysia, everything like goes viral very quickly because they put like very controversial headlines. But in a way, it's kind of good, that Malaysian people are always like cepat je nak go like viral for these kind of things, because like in a way we're educating them about period poverty, and the issue was like race and then. So what Azza mentioned also, like some people perhaps assume like urban poor communities in Malaysia aren't like that bad because they are provided with shelter by the government. But the truth is the socio-economic gap in Malaysia is huge. So with that said, what are your thoughts on how our government, schools, and the communities in general react to this matter?
I think I'm just gonna be very blunt, but very actively. Like, absolutely, I don't think, no matter how well you can say they're doing, if there is still tens of thousands of people retweeting very problematic opinions on women's bodies given by straight men, then there is still that pressure of being a woman, that unnecessary burden added to us in the first place. And the way in which people react to this situation, to the fact that some of us cannot afford to buy sanitary products, or because it's not just buying pads or tampons, it includes buying those pink Panadols. It includes
That's true.
contacts. For some of us, it's buying wait, should I expose myself? Yep, buying like 2 pints of Baskin Robbins cotton ice cream.
Chocolates.
Through your menstrual cycle. And it's just lack of education sponsored by the patriarchy. because they think we can wear one pad for the entire day or for the entire
True.
duration
Oh my gosh.
of our period. Like, okay, fun fact, the average amount of blood we let out during our menstrual cycle is only like 4 tablespoons. And when people found that out, when these males on Twitter found out, they were like, hello, 4 tablespoon je. Why do you need to buy 3 packs of overnight? Hello, oh my God. It's such basic knowledge. The reason as to why it's such a luxury sometimes to have your period is because when you're first starting, you'll have some spotting. So you need panty
That's
liner.
true.
And then in the morning, you need the normal sized pads. At night, you need to wear the overnight pads. Like, it's very hard to be a woman, to navigate through all of these nuances. And people still don't understand that fact. The reason as to why we have to push for subsidies for period products. We have to push for more awareness, because it's just so sad looking at these people in class thinking the sticky part of your pad is supposed to go on your vulva rather than on your panties. All things that influences society as a whole to look at period poverty as a small issue when it is not. It affects us to a high degree because it's our health and it's our body, hence it's our right. Yeah.
In terms of education, sometimes like even girls that have nobody to teach them how to properly take care of their own hygiene, which is also a problem for their own health. And like also like during the start of the pandemic, I feel like while there were a lot of movements, distributing food, like the white flag campaign and stuff, people forgot that like sanitary products are a necessity for women. And the Lost Food Project, which is a NGO that distributes food, at first, they actually distributed over 60,000 period packs to families last year itself.
I actually was like really intrigued by what Sarah said earlier because, like, can you imagine why would they sell like 44 cm pads? Like, I mean, come on.
Panty size one.
Yeah, like there's even like a panty, like a Pampers style pad, like, I mean, to be honest with you, if like guys were to live as girls during period, I doubt that they could handle like the pain. But yeah, anyway, to add to Denise's points, also, I believe that these days are more than just sanitary pads. There are also menstrual cups, reusable pads, and which of course can be reused. It's more sustainable as well. I'm not sure how like these are personally because I've never tried reusable like menstrual cups or reusable pads. But do you girls think that these could help aid in reducing period poverty, as the issue is that the B40 community does not have access and somewhat privileged to purchase like sanitary pads every month, and have like proper waste management. So would this actually help?
I don't think it would directly help tackle period poverty, especially to help in aiding the B40 community. But I believe that the purpose of having these options are so women can find something that suits them. I personally have tried using a menstrual cup before. I will be honest, I'm not a huge fan. I'm still going back and forth, with conventional pads, the Libres ones, and I'm absolutely thankful that I have all these options around me. You can actually find menstrual cups in your grocery stores. If you go to Watson's, popular brand, I think it's called the Hive. So they're everywhere, and they're great, for our community. They're eco-friendly, for those who are looking for alternatives. And for these menstrual cups, you don't actually need to spend a lot of money to purchase them every single time you're on your period. You don't actually have to dispose them every single time you're done with it. And just to give you a little idea for what a menstrual cup is and how it works, it's typically made out of rubber or silicone, and you can insert it up your vagina and it will trap or accumulate all the fluid. I think it's a great idea if companies would like to distribute them to the B40 communities or anyone who's in need. But before that, it's also important for them to be educated on how it is used, if it's suitable for them. Like, we have all these options, but the lack of information is also something that we need to worry about, because for menstrual cups, you need to weigh in certain factors. If you know, age-wise, if it's what is your length of your cervix, what else? The amount of flow you accumulate daily. So, you know, it would be best, I think, for corporate companies. I think Maria Chin, the MP, has already said this before, that she suggests corporate companies to tap into the B40 market, and also the rural communities in Pahang, in Guamusang, Sabah, Sarawak. You take a look at these people, you understand why in the 21st century, in 2021, there's still a lack of access to menstrual products, because there are no demands, I would say, because no one's asking for sanitary pads, no one's asking for menstrual cups. I don't think they even know. A lot of them know what menstrual cups are. You see areas, you know, you really got to take a look at the, like you said, the socioeconomic factor. Just because an area is considered a wilayah, you know, a region, a Banda Persekutuan or whatever, doesn't mean, you know, you also need to look at the literacy rate. Doesn't mean people know what's happening outside, what's available today in this day and age. So not just educate the students, the teenage girls, but mothers, teachers, they also need to be aware of what's available. So I think great that we have all these options available, but information is key. Like, they need to know first and foremost what are these things, and what for retailers, for manufacturers, what are the best ways, what are the best methods to approach them, to reach out to them. And I believe this will partially help tackling our issue of period poverty. But there are obviously a lot of other stuff that needs to be considered as well, especially financially. So yeah.
I agree with everything Azra just said. I just want to add a little nuance, echoing her point on education, because period poverty isn't just the economic disadvantage to purchase any products surrounding the idea of menstruation, but it's also the surrounding taboos that contributes to that economic disadvantage. So it's things like culture and religion that often gets in the way of women being able to take care of themselves when it comes to menstruation, right? So like a very popular case a couple of years back is the fact that very Islamic problematic person on Twitter went on this rampage saying that if you're Muslim, do not wear tampons because you're going to lose your virginity.
Oh my gosh.
So it doesn't, like, the thing is, most menstruators, they prefer wearing tampon if they're going for sports activities like horseback riding, you know, or even when it comes to gymnastics, yada yada, it's just more comfortable for them. It's all about comfort and accessibility in that sense. And these men simply think, you know, you buying those products is for pleasure somewhat. Pleasure? Seriously? You think I want to suffer on the bathroom every 7 days, every month of my entire life? I don't think so. So the reason as to why this is very problematic and a hard part to solve in the education aspect of solving period poverty is the fact that most of the period problems that we have starts off at a very young age. They are indoctrinated by their parents, who most likely carry those values, who will tell them you cannot wear tampons, you cannot wear diva cups, and later you're no longer a virgin, you can't be a good wife, nobody wants to marry you, all of those things. You are guilt tripped from accessing comfort and, you know, from accessing what should be considered as a basic right for you. And that sucks. So most of these girls grow up thinking you cannot wear tampons, you cannot wear diva cups or menstrual cups if they know what that is. But when they have their periods, they are also thought to be ashamed of that. So period poverty, they're already having a hard time to buy sanitary products. Then they also have a harder time of trying to adjust with the comfortability of their own body. So many of these girls start not going to schools when they're on their period, or start refraining from doing sports when they're on their period. They think they cannot do it. It's a disadvantage for you to be on your period, which is another problematic thing, given you know how the world is today. You have to be
Yeah.
active in school, you have to increase your participation, and girls are constantly disadvantaged or guilt tripped from accessing those things, from making themselves better. Because I really like that quote, whatever you can do, I can do bleeding. And the thing is, these girls don't know that. All they know is when you're on your period, you are dirty, you know?
Yeah.
Stick with that one
Exactly.
pad. Don't tell anybody you're on your period. Don't ask for period products. That another thing, right? When you're in school, you're embarrassed to ask
Like,
friends for your
Oh my god, yeah, exactly.
period. You're embarrassed.
Happened before.
And that's an aspect of period poverty too, where instead of asking them or buying because you're too ashamed, you start using toilet paper to substitute it. Or some of these girls
Exactly.
use socks, shove it into their vaginal canal and stuff, just so that they don't have to face the embarrassment faced by society to buy sanitary products, you know? So yeah, it's a little bit more nuanced than just the disability of not having money to buy them. It's also the shame that restricts you from having access to buying them.
Oh my
Which
god.
sucks. Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like
I absolutely second that, Sarah. I mean, a lot of experience I recalled in secondary school when I was in Form 1, Form 2. I usually wouldn't get my period in school, but like, I would, often listen to my friends be like, do you have a pad? Like, why are you whispering?
yeah.
And they're gonna like pretend, when somebody asks, why don't you feel well? Oh, they're having these cramps, right? And I'm like, nothing, tak ada apa. Cramps can get very painful.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
if you just don't be embarrassed to treat yourself to address this, and whenever you're speaking to the nurse at the school clinic, you wanna be honest. And a lot of girls, they find it better. I mean, because our upbringing says that, you gotta be discreet if you're on your period. But there is really no reason to be discreet, especially when you're in pain. You gotta tell people. You gotta tell somebody.
Exactly.
You wanna
I'm
go
dying.
home? Go home.
Someone's
True,
punching me.
that's true. We would like hide the pad, inside our tudungs. To go to the toilet, like, oh, cannot see, because it's like something very
Jangan
like
malu.
taboo. Yeah.
During Ramadan, when you're on your period, Muslim girl, you cannot fast. And these girls sometimes starve themselves on their period because they don't want their friends to know they're on their period.
Yeah, don't starve yourself.
It's
God.
holistically
Eat
a health
something.
So it's your hygiene, it's the health, because cramps, I fainted once when I was like 12 or 15 because of my cramps. And that story is shared with a lot of my other friends. So it's like period hygiene as well as your health that can be severely damaged if you don't take care of the former.
That's right. If I'm not wrong, Taylor's hostel, they actually have this workshop to make like reusable pads for like a crowdfunding project called Launchpad. And I hear like these pads can be reused up to 2 years, like by washing and reusing it. And it actually helps like the women they're helping to save up about 120 per year on pads. And I think like it's a really good initiative, if like what you said, they are educated and then they know how to properly clean the reusable pads. But like, how much do girls think that we as women should set aside for sanitary products? Because it's like also a necessity.
Well, for me, I'm constantly experimenting with brands and whatever that's available in the drugstores, only because they're affordable. I don't really go for the premium ones, and they're available, mind you. I don't have a very heavy flow most of the time, but I would change my pads, I guess 2 to 3 times max per day. So yeah, that said, I find myself spending around 8 to 10 ringgit for a 20p sanitary pad. They usually come in this value pack from Libres. And that's kind of pretty much what I need, and it can last me up to 14 weeks, max tops. But I know there are people like my mom, for example, with a much heavier flow, and she would need to change 5 to 6 times, daily. So obviously the quantity that she required for each month would increase. So aside from pads, like Sarah said just now, the pink Panadols, there are other things that we need to cope with period pains, with the whole menstruation process, to put it short. So there are heating pads that we need to for our tummies, the food that we eat as well. Some people really have an extreme case of period cramps, so that's something we need to consider. Obviously it would reflect on the cost as well. So I don't know, some for a month, or for a month, maybe 20 or 50 ringgit max, I will say. And I think that is a very appalling thing. It's a very hard pill to swallow. People should already acknowledge that menstrual products are an essential. It's a basic necessity for every household. Unlike condoms, which one would only use occasionally, we don't really have a choice. This is a monthly commitment that we signed up to. Like periods are constant. It requires thorough care. You don't want to contract any you don't want to invite any germs, so it shouldn't, when you look at the cost, it really shouldn't cost such a dime for you to look after yourself. And this is I guess how the pink tax idea comes from, that why do you need to pay more money as compared to men, when it comes to basic necessities. So looking at the cost, I think we can take a look at Scotland in 2020. They became the first country in the world to make period products free for its citizens. And this step taken by Switzerland has also been followed by a few other countries. A lot of people, or some people, would argue, of course lah, they can do that. Their population berapa kerat je, like 5 billion. And then you take away you minus the male population, berapa je tinggalkan the female population. But again, like we said repeatedly, menstrual products are a basic necessity. And like it or not, there should be action taken by those who are in power, those who have the resources to make our lives easier. So these allocations are necessary. These subsidies are necessary. Awareness initiatives are vital to educate not just the urban population, but the suburban, the rural population, so that we can ensure that our women and girls are well taken care of.
I really do agree about the subscription part, because we're subscribed to a lifetime thingy until at the end of our until menopause. Yeah, definitely. So it's the whole cost of, it's not just subscribed to the period, it's also subscribed to whatever that comes with it. It's the cramps, the cravings, mental health and stuff like that. So it's really important to highlight that. And also about Sarah, she mentioned about the religion part of it. I feel it's very upsetting that, because Islam sort of wants us to, permudahkan, make it simple, simplify it for us, especially women. But how Malaysia portrays it, it's very, very sometimes it just gets on my nerves, because this is not how it's supposed to be, And this reminded me of that one time when Libres actually came up with the vulva art campaign. Yeah, that one was also a really hot topic, because people were that's not right. It's memalukan. So yeah, it was really
I have too many thoughts about that. I have gotten into too many Twitter controversies because of my thoughts on that. But basically, it's just, I just want to give an alternative view to this whole concept that men are supposed to lead women in Islam. Let's assume that context is true. Even so, your job is to protect us, not shame us. you know?
That's true. That's true.
And like that concept also is only like applied when it's a direct family member. If you're a stranger speaking Kota Baru, Kelantan, like sit down. I don't even know who you are.
Sit down.
Because you're wearing a Superman shirt from 2009. I don't want to hear your opinion on my uterus. Oh my god. Okay, I really like this. Wait, I don't think I can say it. If I cannot say it, just edit it out. But I found it on Twitter, which said, no, don't.
Nobody
Oh my god. It actually makes sense. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta like say it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard when the weight of being a woman is already weighing down on you, and then you add up things like culture and also religion being against you as a menstruator. It's just disgusting, you know, because like God made me like this, bro. Why are you like, calm down? So I wish the male population who are so engrossed in religion can learn how to be a little bit more respectful in their words, even if they think their words are correct and they're the only ones who are on the path of God. Even so, it does not give you the right to make decisions or discount decisions that women make for their own bodies, because it's ours, not yours. Sit down. You know?
So yeah, I think like to conclude everything, poverty is definitely not just the urban poor communities. It's also us, because we're poor in like terms of like education. So please do educate yourselves.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sarah and Azza, for chatting with us today. It's like so fruitful, I would say. Right. I hope you guys had fun, and we're gonna wrap up this session right now. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram at tailors.akpk and also at diadem.tu, and do check out Sarah at sarah.salehan and also her cat Boba Best Boy. You can also find Azza. You can also find Azza at Azza Jemima Azza Jemima on Instagram to see their latest updates.
Yes. And if you're interested in educating yourselves more on the issue of period poverty, which you really should, boys and girls, do check out pedulimerah.com. They are a movement to support period poverty in Malaysia. And with that,
signing off, making sense, Denise
and Aisha. Bye guys. Thank you so much.